what sort of instruction do we get from the Bible on the subject of slavery? The Creator of the universe clearly expects us to keep slaves.
The Bible explicitly sanctions slavery. How is that moral?
Labor
but
system.
the Bible does.
Saying it was
the
totally
Bible
different.
is okay with slavery.
No, it doesn't.
Oh,
and the anti-slavery movement...
How's it going, guys? This is Pete from the Freedom in God YouTube channel. So the claim is often made that the Bible approves of slavery, implicating God as its supporter, since rules governing slavery can be found in both the Old and the New Testament. Since virtually everyone agrees that forced, involuntary servitude is morally wrong, how can Christians justify the Bible's apparent support of slavery? First, we must recognize that the Bible does not say God supports slavery. In fact, the slavery described in the Old Testament was quite different from the kind of slavery we think of today, in which people are captured and sold as slaves. According to the Old Testament law, anyone caught selling another person into slavery was to be executed. In Exodus 21 verse 16 we read, "And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death." So obviously slavery during Old Testament times was not what we commonly recognize as slavery that was practiced in the 17th century. Unlike our modern government welfare programs, there was no safety net for ancient Middle Easterners who could not provide a living for themselves. In ancient Israel, people who could not provide for themselves or their families sold themselves into slavery, so they would not die of starvation or exposure. In this way, a person would receive food and housing in exchange for labor. So although there are rules about slavery in the Bible, those rules exist to protect the slave. Injuring or killing a slave was punishable up to death of the offending party. Hebrews were commanded not to make their slave work on the Sabbath, nor to slander a slave. A Hebrew was not to enslave his fellow countryman, even if he owed him money, but was to have him work as a hired worker, and he was to be released in 7 years, or in the year of Jubilee, which occurred every 50 years, whichever came first. In fact, the slave owner was encouraged to pamper the slave. Contrary to the claims of many skeptics, the New Testament proclaims that all people are equal in the eyes of God, even slaves. There is neither Jew nor Greek, there is neither bond nor free, there is neither male nor female, for you are all one in Christ Jesus, in Galatians 3 verses 28. The idea that God or Christianity encourages or approves of slavery is shown to be false. In fact, anyone who was caught selling another person into slavery was to be executed. However, since voluntary slavery was widely practiced during biblical times, the Bible prescribes laws to protect the lives and health of slaves. Paul, the author of many of the New Testament writings, virtually ordered the Christian Philemon to release his Christian slave from his service, to do what is proper. In addition, numerous verses from the New Testament show that God values slaves as much as any free person, and it is not partial to anyone standing before other people. Thanks for watching, guys, and may you all have a blessed day.